Hey guys, it's Grace. Welcome back to the 12 Days of Clovercast. So today we're going to be working on sewing and we're going to be making some winter masks. So this year has been pretty crazy and we're having to wear masks a lot of times in order to be safe. But what makes it fun is being able to sew your own masks with fun patterns. So there are so many fabrics you could possibly use, but these are some of the ones that I have that I'll be using. So here are some of the ones I have. I've got some Christmas trees, some cookies, and then some snowflakes. Today I'm going to be focusing on using the snowflakes because it's winter time, you know. This fabric is sparkly, so that's a plus for sure. So our first step is we're going to need to cut out the masks. Alright, so before we can cut our fabric, we have to create a template. So we're going to take a piece of cardstock and cut it to be a square that is 8 inches by 8 inches. Alright, so now that I have my template, I can just trace this over my fabric and cut out that square. So now that I have my square, I'm going to roll over the top and bottom edge 2 times so that the raw fabric isn't showing. Okay, so now that it's pinned like this, I'm just going to go ahead and sew along those edges. And then after that, I can go ahead and add my wire in, which is totally optional, but I really like to do it, especially when people have glasses that fog up. It helps a lot with that. So since I don't have the right blue to actually match this fabric, I'm just going to use white because that's what I have that will blend in the best. Okay, so now that my top and bottom are sewn, I'm going to go ahead and put the wire in, and then we're going to have to do some pinning so that we can get the pleats in for the mask. So I use this floral wire, and I'm just going to chop off a little piece of it, about this long, so then we can have the nose piece. And you can check it on your nose if you want to make sure it's a good length. And then just put it in that loop at the top of where you sewed. And make sure that if you have a pattern that needs to be a right way, like if it's going to be upside down, make sure you're putting the wire where the top is going to be. Okay, so now that the wire is in, we can go ahead and do some folding and pinning. So this can be a little tricky, but to double check mine, I'm going to be just using a regular medical mask so I can see if it's the right length. If you don't have one of these, you know, you'll be able to tell if it looks about right. So we're going to start with this bottom pleat, and we're going to do 2. So we're going to start by pulling up from about 1/3 of the way up from the mask, so about right here. You're just going to pinch it and then pull it down so that it looks like this. So again, you're just pinching it and folding it over. And then we're going to go ahead and pin that in place. Then I'm going to move up a little more on the fabric and do it again. So now that it's folded and pinned, if I line it up with this, I can see that it's about the same. So that's perfect. So now I need to just take this and iron it so that these folds will stay in even when I take these pins out. And then too, when I wear it, it'll feel a little better and more in place. So be very careful with your iron, first of all, and if you need help, definitely ask your parents, and I'm sure they'll be happy to help you with that. I use a cotton fabric because that's what I found works best for the mask. It's comfortable, it's lightweight, but it's also tightly knit, so it works pretty well. But if you have a different one, just be aware of that when you're doing the settings on your iron. Okay, so now it's ironed, and you can see that the folds are nice and in place, and I won't have to worry about them coming undone. So now I can pull out these pins on the edge. So now all that's left to do is fold these outer edges, and then also add these elastics that are going to go around your ear. So first thing we need to do is cut out our elastic. So I cut my elastic to be about 7 inches long, and then you're going to need 2 of those so that you have for each ear. Alright, so I got my 2 pieces of elastic, so now I need to pin them onto here. So what I'm going to do is, on these shorter edges, I'm going to fold it over just once, and I'm going to do 1 pin in the middle and then 2 pins on the sides. And those side pins are also going to be pinning my elastic in place. So I'm going to start with my middle pin. So now for my outer pins, I'm going to make sure that I also grab the elastic when I put it in there. Alright, so now all that's left to do is sew that in place and pull out the pins. Alright, so now you're all finished and you're nice and festive and ready for the holiday season.